Namaste, friends. This is Elle with Sacred Union Tarot, and welcome to Divine Feminine Friday. Wow. It's been quite a week. Actually, this has been an easier week than the last couple of weeks, so I'm grateful for some easier energies, some lighter energies, a little bit of reprieve. Things that feels like things are slowing down. It's kind of just like that really easy flowing energy that just makes, it's like you're just getting ready, you know, for a little bit of soul comfort. Okay, so self-care routine for today, Divine Feminine Friday, is facial day. So take a little time, give yourself a facial if you're Divine Feminine, and let's pull a message for Divine Feminines from the Rumi deck and see what comes through. Okay, we're not taking all of those, sorry. Too many. That would make this a very long reading, and it's Friday and we're all getting ready for a little time off. The Lion and the Deer. It's a number 22 card, which is a master number. And I'll just briefly read what that says. So Rumi says, when you enter the garden of the heart, you become fragrant like the rose. When you fly toward heaven, you become graceful like the angel. If you get burned like oil, you become brilliant. When you become thin like hair, in yearning, your joy leads the way. You'll be the kingdom and the king. You'll be paradise and the guardian angel. You'll be infidelity and you'll be faith. You'll be the lion and you'll be the deer. This oracle brings to you a message that you are rediscovering a part of yourself that has been lost or submerged underneath more practical concerns. Of course, if practicality is about survival, then learning to be your true self's most essential and practical. All other paths lead to death of the soul. You are asked to beat the chaos of this rediscovery. It may be that talents from this or other lifetimes are reawakened and cause you some discomfort at first, even though they will ultimately bring joy and great fulfillment. This discomfort may be around how those talents are best expressed, about overcoming shame, guilt, doubts, or other judgment. It may even be about who you are if you now admit your talent or other emerging potential traits. Perhaps what is being unearthed in you now is darker. Your sacred rage, refusal to accept disrespect in your life, your inability to tolerate lies and deceptions. Well then, you are the lion and the deer. That is nature. There is to be both in the world. You are not becoming contradictory or hypocritical. You are becoming whole. So almost about duality, whereas there is kind of this perception of, you know, the sacred feminine. You know, if you become very spiritual, you have this divine grace, and you know, you're just in this resplendent with grace energy, in Rumi's words, and you know, you just are this graceful, cheerful, happy, uplifting being all the time. Not so. You have a right to defend yourself against darkness, and the only language darkness understands really is firm boundaries. So if you want to set firm boundaries and you have a right to say, you know, this makes me angry, I'm not dealing with this anymore, that's perfectly okay. You know, you don't have to go off the deep end in anger and let it lower your vibration, but you can say, I'm not tolerating. And through that, you set some firm and very clear boundaries about what you will allow. So don't feel like, you know, setting your boundaries is not being the divine feminine or in your divine energy. I'm pulling out my Divine Feminine statuette. Let's see what comes through. This is the Rose Oracle. So a lot of times Divine Feminines have been suppressed. They've suppressed their emotions, their anger, their talents, and it's time for the Divine Feminine energy to take the lead and then be the way shower. Mother Rose, returning to each other, compassion and humanity. Okay, let's pull from the Lover's Oracle, that Mother Rose. Returning to each other. Okay, they told me to read. Sorry. Yesterday it took me forever to find the card because they're not in alphabetical order and there are no numbers. Here, look. A sacred symbol of feminine, the rose has been here much longer than us. In times ancient, garlands of roses were placed around statues of mother goddesses to worship her. We are all her children. She connects and unites us all. If we trace her roots far enough, maybe we'll find our way back to each other. We're living in a time of great division, learning and unlearning. We're together mending the thread of humanity. This card is returning to union by facing what has been broken, separated, and severed. To realize that we're all human, and while harm has been done, what's needed now is for us to acknowledge what has happened and endeavor to find a way to return to each other. To realize that it's possible for two people to have different experience at the same time, and both can be true. Okay, so this is about reuniting at a different level of understanding that nobody has to be right, and that what has happened, and now it's time to come together in, focusing on more what we have in common that's positive than what we have in, what is disparity in the negative. So, okay, so that's a lot of wisdom for one special Friday. Reflection. Give each other some space at the moment. Trust and have faith that all will work out for the best. So that goes with that card, kind of just being able to get a perspective from the other person's side, giving each other time and space to work things out. If this is about your connection, it could be about any relationship that you have on your mind right now. Sacred union. Honor and treasure your relationship, for it is truly sacred. This is all about coming back into union with self and with others. Okay, let's pull from, nope, I said this deck. Okay. All right. I'm listening. This is the Angel Oracle. I'm going to pull a couple of cards on these two, or this is the Angel Tarot. Sorry. I'm going to pull a couple of cards on these two, and then I'm going to pull a card on this Rumi Oracle about, let's just start here. The Star, healing. Yeah, this is all about healing. Seeing things more from the positive perspective. Two of Pentacles. That's that back and forth, back and forth. And the Knight of Wands. It feels as though there's been some sort of separation, division, and you've been going back and forth about what should you do. First of all, honor the sacredness of the connection. Every connection you have is sacred in some way. But the sacredness of any kind of divine connection with a counterpart, if you have been in some sort of separation or disagreement, or, there's just been a time where you've kind of pulled away from the attachment part of it and just allowing things to work out, just know that everything is working. It is kind of starting to equalize that energy with that Two of Pentacles. That's a struggling and juggling energy, but it comes into balance. At some point it comes into balance, and then things will move forward. But once it gets into this healed energy and in balance, things then kind of move forward. All right, now I'm going to move on to this Rumi Oracle, because it is Friday, and I know you have some things that you want to do to prepare for the weekend if you have weekends off. All right, so let me move this over here. The Lion and the Deer. Change. Nothing can grow or evolve without movement. And then blame. The blame game. I accept responsibility for my well-being. Okay, so this tells me that there's been some sort of boundary setting because there's been some confrontation or conflict. And so finally, feels like Divine Feminine and Divine Masculine, from what I'm hearing now, both of them were blaming each other, but now they're starting to see, wait a minute, you know, I had some responsibility in this. I needed to set more clear and firm boundaries and be reasonable about it, is what I'm hearing. And now I need to balance my energies to be in a more healed position, so that things can change and move forward. This feels like the precursor to this. Well, no, this needs to happen and then this. Okay, well, they're connected somehow. Can't seem to understand what they're telling me. Okay, this is the Secret of the Tarot. That was the Soul's Journey Tarot or Oracle. King of Swords. Yeah, it feels like there was an over sharpness, an over, you know, kind of, there's the Two of Pentacles in reverse, yay, and that flipped over here, so I'm going to leave it. It's imbalanced right now. When it comes into balance, when it gets into this less struggling and juggling, then you're going to see some change. But you have to accept responsibility for what you have done as well and be willing to be open to that. Because it seems like there's been an overreaction in the boundaries. Like there was some sort of hurt, some sort of conflict, some sort of disharmony. And then there was then an over protection in the boundaries. There's the Hangman. Yeah, seeing things from this different perspective, seeing things from their point of view. And then maybe the overreaction in the boundary setting, like you overreached on the boundaries. That's going to bring some clarity in, and that's going to help you to understand their perspective. And it's going to help you be a little bit more, what I'm hearing is compassionate. Yeah, see, there's that Seven of Wands. You overset the boundaries, overreached on the boundaries because you were defending. You were, you know, you were defending the hurt places. That's what needs to come into balance, this healing. Knowing that this separation is for time to do that. Neither one of you seem very comfortable with the overreach on boundaries. Okay, for example, let's just say there was an argument, you know, about, let's say, things that have happened in the past. So out of frustration, you each blocked each other to prohibit any further communication. Instead of saying, why don't we both step away, take some time to reflect, and then maybe we can come back together with a different perspective. There was just a blockage. It was like, I'm just going to block it. I'm not going to have any more conversations with them. And that was kind of an overreaction. It's not allowing the connection to move forward, because now you've been in this defensive. It's like, I'm going to defend myself. I'm not going to allow the conversation to happen because it's hurtful and I don't want to accept responsibility for what I did. So I'm just saying, see it from a different perspective, because when you do that, you're going to be able to heal. You bring the energies into balance. Yeah, see, strength in the Five of Pentacles. We have a 5 and a 7, a 12 and a 12. 12, 12. Bottom of the deck, look at that, the star again. Well, that is very indicative of what needs to be healed. We've got the star twice, and it's obvious that there's some sort of blame game and a change that's needed in order to have some time to reflect so that you can come back into this sacred union. This could be with a soulmate, divine counterparts. It could be whatever soul contracts you're under, because they're all sacred. So, you know, take it as it resonates. And if it's a specific issue you need a little bit more clarity on, you know, just email me and I'll set up a personal reading. But I think that is the message. Let me go ahead. They said just pull from the Ask Your Guides. I don't think I'm quite in tune with this deck yet, so Let's see what your guides are saying. Discipline, master teacher. We've been seeing this position of teacher a lot, that we are teaching through our actions. This is one of those things where you're learning, you know, about this, about being in a more healed, balanced energy. And then your responses to things now are teaching others how to handle them. Shadow, divine healers. Yeah, there's been some, this is a 33, a master number, and that's a 25, which is a 7. This had to come to the surface for the healing work to be done. And then balance, yeah. Divine teachers again. There's a master teacher, divine teacher, and divine healer. We got the star card twice. There's that balance. See how now we have the heart. Now there's an exchange here, a more balanced exchange. But this is definitely a lesson for learning and then also teaching and healing. This is confronting some sort of shadow, where there was this 7 of Wands was overreaction. You know, defending yourself because there's something unhealed, and it's revealed that. So now that you can heal it, it'll pull you back more into balance. And then as you have a future conversation with this person, your response, your new energy is going to be a way shower for them. Okay, I'm going to leave it there. Have a beautiful day. I'll see you tomorrow. Namaste.